your
survival
curiosity will
instincts.
bring you to very difficult situations, maybe
Mm-hmm.
dangerous situations, but your fear will
Keep
keep
you
you
alive.
alive.
Today's guest is Patrick Paez, a Filipino journalist who've lived through stories worth telling. Oh, I am
You
so
know, you
blessed
want
to
do
be
you want
living today.
do you want me to talk about the technology that
No, I know
that
it
I
was
came
very
into
hard. Yeah.
back in '86?
From being a student activist to being a police reporter, among many things.
But it happened. That's how people learned how to ride back then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Through heartbreak.
Through heartbreaks, many of them.
Many heartbreaks.
Because it's not easy to get inside Afghanistan. And, it's a
Yeah,
war
yeah.
zone, and then it's not easy to find a dead body
Yeah,
somewhere in the middle of the mountains.
Expect to hear stories about danger, change, and the Filipino resilience in the face of tough situations.
No, it's always important to have that fear. You're there to get a story and make
And
sure you bring it
return.
back, right? Filipinos are different. We've managed to go to many parts of the world and meet Filipinos, and we're different. We have a different way of coping with problems.
So I heard from somewhere that during your line of work, well, you're still a current reporter now, but before, I believe you got kidnapped? Welcome to Vuja Day, a podcast series by Presello. Vuja Day is the opposite of deja vu. It's when you experience something familiar, but you see it now in a different light.
Can you imagine all of this technology?
Oh, I am so
You
blessed to be living today.
Do you want me to talk about the technology that
No, I know
that
it
I
was
came
very
into
hard. Yeah.
back in '86?
Apart from it being complicated kasi ang laki.
No, I'll tell you. I'll open with that story. The technology I came into
All right.
when I first became a reporter.
Okay. Actually, I do want to hear this. So hold on. Did you start off as a reporter?
I started off as a reporter.
All right. So what was the landscape then?
What was the landscape? We were fortunate, you know why?
Why?
It was 1986.
Ooh, great
I
year.
didn't even bother to finish my thesis
Oh wow.
in journalism school in UST because Marcus was gone. We went
free.
from rallying in EDSA in '86 to looking for a job in one of the many newspapers that opened.
Many.
That time.
Sabay-sabay.
Sabay-sabay because wala na si Marcos,
Yeah.
so freedom of
Freedom of
press.
speech, press.
freedom of press. So we were lucky. We were a lucky batch of journalists that we came straight out of school. I didn't bother to finish my thesis. Just walked into a newsroom of the Manila Chronicle, which is now defunct or dead,
Yeah.
by the way, and applied for a job and got in
Got
right
in.
away. Right away.
Right in as a
From
reporter.
rallying in the streets to covering the news as a police reporter. That's how you started it.
As a police
As a
reporter.
police reporter.
Okay, I didn't
So
know that
we
was
were
very specific.
we were idealistic students in UST, fighting a dictatorship,
What a time.
love of country, patriotism, and all that. And then at the police beat, it was a cold reality about about the career and life of a young reporter, because the police station is a different world,
Okay, so what was that like? I mean, as you mentioned, being a police reporter.
Yeah, from
Is it more of a
talking
local
about
thing?
politics, fighting U.S. bases to
Yeah, the local
covering stories about pickpockets and stabbing incidents.
I mean, it can still get pretty gruesome.
My most sensational story, okay, which I found
I'd love to hear.
was when they brought in this parlorista
Okay.
in Pasay City. And she was screaming because she was so embarrassed, and I don't know, there was so much shame. She was arrested for, I guess this is, we don't need to be careful,
Yeah,
she was arrested for raping a chicken. So the owner of the chicken complained to the police and had this parlor game.
Oh wow! Well, I mean, you do have to report about that because it's very
It's
unusual.
destruction of property.
Wait, don't
They
tell me
brought
the
in the
chicken wasn't
chicken.
hers.
They brought in the chicken as evidence at the police station.
I shouldn't be laughing. This is terrible.
So I'm not telling you this story to just for
Yeah.
simple shock value, but
No, no, no.
I just want to illustrate
Different.
how different it was from our
Yeah,
student days.
polarizing.
Yes,
From being a
as
student
activists
rallying,
rallying in
student activist,
politics, fighting the U.S. bases,
to domestic
yes, very
peculiarities.
domestic, yes, very domestic issues.
Oh man.
Can't help but admire the new technology.
What? Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
well,
What were you using back then
okay.
on the field?
I came into the world of media.
Mhm.
The technology that we saw, there was no fax machine.
Oh,
Okay.
well, okay.
Oh no. Let me backtrack a bit further. It was the typewriter.
Oh, that one I'm not
Okay.
surprised
So
by.
old
Yeah,
school
sure.
newsrooms.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
you walk in and it's the loud sound of typewriters,
Yeah.
metal typewriters.
I miss that sound, by the
Uh-huh.
way.
And when your editor edits your script or
Mhm.
your work,
Mhm.
it was literal cut and paste.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah,
there were no
yeah.
computers, they literally cut the
Cut
paper
and then
and
paste it on the
pasted
new
it
one.
all over to move around your sentences. And they use, they were editing marks, but sometimes they use snow
The
paper.
tape. Oh yeah, the white.
The white.
The white. I forgot what it was called. But yeah.
So that was the newsroom I got into in '86.
Then
And soon after that, the first disruptive technology was the fax machine.
that was disruptive.
That was disruptive
Oh,
because
because
then
fast.
we didn't
faster
have to go
news.
to work, to the
Huh?
office. We didn't have to go to the newsroom.
Oh, you could
We
stay
could just
home.
fax our story right at our right where we were covering. Like I was at the Senate,
Mhm.
Senate
Oh,
reporter.
Mhm.
So write my stories to the Senate and just fax it
fax it.
to the
Ah.
office.
Right, that would have revolutionized
It
the way you
did.
did
It
things.
did.
Yeah.
I think in a bad way, maybe because
Pressure.
that's how. That's
It
the
needed to be
best.
faster.
That's the best way for a writer not to learn how to write. Because if you don't anymore have face to face with your editor,
Mhm.
you don't know how your editor changed your work.
Fair.
Because I still
Yeah.
came from a generation, from a time where we wrote our stories,
Mhm.
physically handed it to our editor, and the editor
Had
would
them
look at
check
it,
Yeah.
uh,
Proofread.
just would proofread, or if your writing is beyond redemption,
Oh, just
crumple
scrap
it in front of your face
Throw it.
and throw it in the waste can.
Oh, that must be
That's
so
how you
satisfying
learn.
for them and heartbreaking for you.
Fortunately, I'm proud to say it never happened.
Never
me.
happened to you?
Never
Oh,
happened to me.
congratulations.
I don't think I gave my
That is
editor
a great
much
track
a
record.
headache. But it happened. That's how people learned how to write back then.
Yeah. Through heartbreak.
Through heartbreaks, many of them.
Many heartbreaks. And then I suppose from you mentioned 1986.
Yeah, sorry.
That's the
It's
fact
ancient. It's ancient.
No, this is amazing. So in the next 20 years, progress was pretty fast because suddenly in the 90s or maybe early 2000s for the Philippines,
Yeah.
internet came in, emails
Yeah.
came in, you needed to be faster.
Mhm. Before the internet, before the internet came. This is how we covered the eruption of Mount Pinatubo.
Oh, how did you cover?
Because I was there, I was sent there. We would go around during the day, take videos of evacuation centers, of the devastation. By 4 p.m., we would go to the highway, tape in hand, tape the size of a Betamax tape,
Oh, yeah, okay.
literal tape,
yeah.
analog.
Analog tape.
Flag down a bus that's bound from Manila
And have it sent?
and slip in 50 pesos with the conductor.
Wait, man, 50 pesos.
So that the conductor will take the tape
Uh-huh.
back to their station in Manila,
Mhm.
okay, and leave it with a dispatcher. And our motorcycle courier would from ABS-CBN,
Yeah.
from the ABS-CBN office, would drive to the bus station and get our tape from the conductor, from the dispatcher.
And that would be the quote unquote breaking news.
That would be
story.
breaking news.
Oh.
It always made it on time for prime time news.
Oh, yeah,
Even if you
yeah,
had to
yeah.
like physically
The nightly
transport your
news.
tape by bus.
By
That
4
was
p.m. No, to
before
make it for the 8
satellite,
o'clock.
before internet. Yeah.
Tama ba? 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock
6
by you?
o'clock,
9?
6:30.
Oh,
It was
2
nothing.
hours? Oh, you have to
Yeah,
pray that the bus doesn't break down or anything.
Oh yeah, but the good thing is no traffic.
Oh, fair.
That that
Yeah,
that,
I
that
forgot
that's
about
what
that.
made it possible. There was no
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah, that is what would make
Literally
things.
no traffic. Yeah. Hmm.
Can you, oh, I can't. I can barely remember
I
the
know.
90s where traffic wasn't much of a problem.
So technology has been has exponential
It,
progress in
for
technology now.
sure. But now everything is fast paced, which is
Yeah,
great.
it Julia, I don't think it has made life easier.
It hasn't. It
It
added
hasn't, and
pressure, for sure.
honestly, because we still work with in our news station, we work with new technology. I don't think it has made life easier for the journalists. Um,
If
if
anything, it might feel a little more suffocating.
Yes, because now you're with your phone, you're
Mm.
accessible.
Mm.
The office can call you anytime to work. It's same thing. So
And you basically have to beat people to the punch when it comes to
yes, it's
stories.
speed
Just
now. It's all
speed.
about speed. To be the first, and sometimes you're counting. You're ahead by a minute.
Oh my goodness.
So
Just so you can say I was first.
yes, right. With social, and then there's social
Social
media now.
media.
It's
Yeah.
so
It
fast.
doesn't
It's so
even take
quick.
reporters now to break news,
Right,
apparently.
right.
Which how is
Yeah.
that for you? How does that feel? Like whenever or no, it feels like a
Ancient.
gold mine. It probably feels like a gold mine too though. Like whenever anyone releases something viral
Uh huh.
and obviously something relevant, probably feels like, oh, the story.
Yeah.
Right?
It has made certain things easier,
Mhm.
but the stress levels have also increased.
Greece. Oh yeah.
The stress levels have increased because there's so much competition.
Mhm.
Um, there's no excuse not to get it.
True. True.
Um, I guess it's the same way in your case as a photographer and also doing Presello. The
Yeah,
competition can be tough.
competition is pretty tough.
Uh-huh.
Although, I mean, Presello specifically, competition doesn't feel like a threatening competition, I guess, because we
Lucky
deal with
you.
houses. No, but because we deal with houses,
Right.
right? It's more of a. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
The sales, though, they are going
But,
somewhere.
but I'm sure you've been noticing a lot of knockoffs
Oh well.
of your style.
We're flattered. We're very
Yeah.
flattered. But so far, right now, we're just having fun, and thankfully,
It's
we're
still
still
the
ahead.
strongest brand. It's still the strongest brand, right?
Online, yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, not that we have any competition offline, but yes. But sorry, going back to stress though, I just remembered something. So I heard from somewhere
Mhm.
that during your line of work, well, you're still a current reporter now, but before, I believe you got kidnapped.
Okay.
That sounds stressful to me.
Okay, kidnap. Maybe kidnap is not the right word.
Oh, is
Okay,
it
but
too strong a word?
Maybe the best way to say. I mean, I'll just tell you the story.
Oh yes,
For
please
example,
enlighten me because I was a
we
little
were
shocked.
foolish, younger, not that young, but younger journalists back then. We
Mhm.
wanted to go to war,
Oh,
to cover
okay.
war. You
Of
know, every
course.
journalist wants that kind.
As a
The
journalist.
harder the coverage, the better. So we went to Afghanistan.
Oh wow.
Okay,
Okay.
Afghanistan.
This was when?
Oh my God, I don't know. War and Terror, maybe 2000. Can't
The
get the
early 2000s. Yeah.
just about the time when the Americans started bombing the country.
Okay.
And then the
Right
new
in the thick of
government
it.
was overthrown. So
Oh.
we rushed in along with a lot of Western journalists.
Mhm.
I tried to jump on the flatbed truck
Mhm.
of European journalists,
Oh wow.
and they shooed me away because they were probably thinking, "What are you going? Get a free ride here, get
Who are
out!"
you?
So anyway, but back then when the gates opened, the border opened, everybody just wanted to rush in.
Mm.
So that's what we did. Finally, we found our no, a little rickety van.
Mhm.
The kind that our money could afford, Filipino
Ah.
journalists' money could afford, because we were up against the world's best.
Yeah,
CNN was
yeah.
there, BBC was there, everybody,
basically a
all the
race,
big
everyone.
guns were there. So here we were, a bunch of journalists from the Philippines who were
Mhm.
not really required to go there, but maybe out
You
of
wanted
sense
to.
of adventure, we wanted to
Yeah.
be there. There was like 3 of us from ABS-CBN, or 4.
I love
So-
that your
so-
sense of adventure.
Yeah,
is basically
To be
drove
young
you
and
to
foolish,
do what you
right?
need to do. Mhm.
So we managed to rent an old high ace van,
Mhm.
and
Oh, it must
our
have
money
felt like
could
home.
only afford a driver
Uh-huh.
who cannot speak English,
Oh wow.
and who only knew 2 words: stop and go. So we felt, okay, we will survive with 2 English words.
As long
That's
as
all
he
the
can
driver needs to
understand
know:
stop and go.
stop and go.
Makes sense.
So on the highway, on the way to Kabul,
Mhm.
because we needed to be there, the
Mm.
capital of Afghanistan, we saw a bunch of armed men on the road who
Oh,
were
that must have
flagging us
been
down.
your
Okay.
hearts must have been
And we had a sense already because they were carrying AK-47s and
oh yeah,
they were
that
telling
is a
the
threatening
car
sight
to stop.
to mhm.
And then all we could tell our driver is go, go, go. So I'm sure he understood.
Yeah. So he went.
He knew two words. No. Even though he understood what go
He
meant,
he
he
didn't want to.
stopped.
Oh no.
And we
He
were
let the
cursing him
guns.
in Tagalog. We were cursing him in Tagalog, the PI
He,
word,
yeah, he wouldn't
because we were
understand, but you
panicking.
guys were panicking. Yeah.
So, and all he could tell us was that if he didn't, meaning to say, if we didn't stop, we'd be dead.
Yeah.
So
You'd be killed.
he was
The
gesturing
guns
that,
were
yeah,
like
that
speaking louder.
like yeah, he was trying to tell us if we didn't stop, we would be dead because
Yeah.
they'd shoot us.
Yeah.
So he stopped.
Okay.
So we were led out of our van.
Mhm.
Okay, we were walked. They walked us at gunpoint.
Mhm.
Maybe around 500 meters into some
Area.
hilly desert
Oh,
place.
not very comforting being led
Yeah. So
somewhere
the only thing that crossed my
unknown.
mind, we were not panicking. Because we were resigned. We thought we'd be dead.
Oh, tanggap nyo na in a
Tanggap na,
way.
tanggap na. I remember distinctly that the only thing that came to my mind was how is my family going to find my body here?
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to get inside Afghanistan, and it's a
Yeah,
war
yeah.
zone, and then it's not easy to find a dead body
Yeah, and-
somewhere in the middle of the mountains in
And
the
it's
desert.
not like they're gonna package your carcasses and
Right.
ship them off to
Right,
home, right? So,
There's not. It's a broken country.
Yeah.
It's a country with no government in chaos. So that's the only thing that came to my mind. That they're not gonna be able to retrieve my body, my poor family.
and
But
that happened.
but our moods quickly changed when one of them
Mhm.
suddenly reached for my pocket.
Oh, okay.
My front pocket.
All right. I was gonna ask which
then
pocket.
only then it became clear to us. Oh, they're here to rob us.
Oh,
So I felt safer.
okay. Roberts
It's just to rob us. They were not gonna rape us.
or kill you. Well, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
because my friend Ed Lingo was even joking that he brought a jar of petroleum
Oop.
jelly as a joke. He
As
was
a
saying
joke, yeah.
it's actually for dry skin, but he was saying, "Oh, in case we get abducted, and no, at least we
At
have
least
this
we
jar
got
of
petroleum jelly.
It was a joke. I'm sure it's okay with
Yeah,
Presello,
it's
or you can
cool,
always
it's
edit
cool.
this out. So he was joking. So we felt okay. We're not gonna get raped. We're not gonna get shot. They just want our
want
money.
your stuff. Yeah, your
They
money.
just want our money.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, they were reaching out for my front pocket.
Mhm.
They got my passport because I put things here in my front
Yeah.
pocket. But because the Afghans,
Mhm.
their clothes, they wear what you call this shalwar kameez, like
It's
a like a long gown,
Yeah, it's a gown.
and their pants don't have back pockets. My point being is that they don't really carry wallets on their back. They're unaware that we keep our wallets in our back
In her back pockets. Okay. That's why they were searching the front pocket.
They got my passport, they got our camera, they got some of our stuff, but they didn't get my dollars here because we had wallets here.
And that was the whole point of them doing that.
Yeah, so there. I mean, we and
Did
then the funny thing is also there was a photographer, a friend of ours from the Philippine Daily Inquirer, who joined our group because he needed a ride to going inside.
And he was part of that experience.
He's part of that experience, but he's the funniest guy. He's the funniest guy, really fun guy. He got us through many of those troubled days because of his sense of humor, the Filipino sense of humor. And they were
What will we ever do without that sense of
yes,
humor?
without that Filipino sense of humor. So they were trying to search his bag,
Yeah, okay.
and then they asked him, "What's that?" And then he took out a bottle of Pepsi. Okay.
Wow. Who carries a can of, or a bottle of Pepsi in their bag?
We were traveling, so with bottles of water and a bottle of
Oh,
he had a
fair,
bottle
fair.
of soda, Pepsi. Then he told the guy, "Pepsi, choice of the new generation. You want? He was just cracking jokes because out of it was the his
Yeah.
Filipinos cope
Yeah,
with
yeah.
stress that way
Even
through
during the
humor.
worst times, you can crack a
Yeah.
joke through, because of
So he
coping.
was scared, no
Yeah.
doubt. We were all scared, but he managed to crack a joke. Choice of the new generation. So when it became clear they just wanted to take our stuff, and they sent us back on
When it was
the
done.
van, and then they let us go.
Oh wow! I was
So
gonna
we
ask
were
if they
okay.
took the van.
So as soon as we got back to the van, we were PIs were flying around
For
inside the van
sure.
because everybody was like cursing the driver. Why did you stop? You all in Tagalog.
Yeah, of
All in
course, of
Tagalog.
course. 'Cause
in
all he knows
Tagalog.
is stop and
we
go.
just had to let out all our anger because
Yeah.
we thought we would be dead.
Anger at the time, but now
Yeah.
humor.
Yeah.
Now you can laugh
and then
at
the
it.
funny thing is, the next day, another group of journalists passed through the same road, were stopped at the same checkpoint by the same group of people. There was a Spanish, I don't know, I think there was an Australian photographer, photojournalist, there was a Italian female
Oh.
journalist.
Oh wow!
4 of them. I forgot the other nationalities. They were all white.
Yeah.
Western, let's call it
Western.
Western. Western.
Let's go with Western.
Okay. All ended up dead.
Oh wow!
Oh, so-
By the same
By the same group on
group
the
of
same
people.
road.
Okay.
Same incident. They all ended up dead. So it was very traumatic to all the journalists who were in the
Yeah.
area because 4 journalists ended up dead.
Yeah.
But here are these 4 Filipinos
who
for
lived
some
through
strange
it.
reason.
Oh, it was the Pepsi.
It was a Pepsi.
It was because of
It was a Pepsi. It was a Pepsi,
Oh,
maybe.
that's amazing.
But you know what? When we were
Terrible,
there,
but
we
amazing.
learned a lot of things. Like, for example, all these Western journalists. Before they are sent to conflict areas, many of them go through a course, which is known as a course that is supervised by elite British Special Forces,
Wow.
SAS.
Okay. Oh,
to
yeah.
to teach, to train journalists covering conflict areas how to avoid
Navigate or-
avoid sticky situations. So the rule has always been, there's 2 basic rules. Never fall down on your knees. You will find this very helpful in many situations.
Okay,
But
everyone take
never
notes.
fall down on your knees and beg for your life,
Okay.
and do not fight back.
Oh.
It's people who beg for their life who end up dead.
Dead.
And it's
Oh.
people who fight back who end up dead.
Ah.
So,
So what do you do?
Pepsi, crack a
Pepsi.
joke. Amazing. You learn about
is
Filipinos a lot.
amazing, yeah.
So we were thinking, what happened to those 4 Western journalists?
Yeah,
I'm sure they
did one of the two.
did one of the 2. Maybe they resisted.
Yeah.
Maybe they fell on their
begged.
knees. Because those 2 actions it turns out, emboldens the hostage taker
Yeah. To take action.
to take action
Yeah.
one way
Alright.
or another. I mean,
Yes,
there.
yes.
So the best is just chill. And we were so chill
Yeah.
because we thought we'd be dead. We were just resigned to
you
our
were
fate.
super resigned already,
Yeah.
but hey, at least you didn't fight back or anything or did anything irrational.
Filipinos are different. We managed to go to many parts of the world when meet Filipinos, and we're different.
Sure.
We have a different way of coping with problems.
And I'm sure you've seen that firsthand.
Yes,
being around.
like there in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And in fact, a third group of journalists, Spanish journalists, also passed through the same road. They were also held up. Okay, they lived. They
Okay,
survived
they
it.
lived through it.
But as soon as they got to Kabul, okay, the capital, they locked themselves. They locked themselves in the room. Never left the room.
Why?
Okay, they were so traumatized
Wonder what
by
happened.
the incident. Same thing that we went through.
Yeah, but like,
There's no PTSD for Filipino journalists. We don't. There's
just
no
coping
there's-
via
it's
humor, just laughing about
Humor.
it. Well,
humor.
yeah, maybe it is just a Filipino thing because it's like once you've lived through something super traumatic, it's like, well, it happened, got through it.
Yeah,
we
and
can
then
laugh
we
about
laugh
it now.
and we laugh. We crack jokes.
Yeah.
So other other people won't understand it. Other
Hmm.
nationalities won't understand it. But hey, I mean,
I mean,
it
If
got
there's-
us through.
exactly, and you're doing well now.
Yeah, no,
And you're
no
still
scars,
you're
no
still a journalist.
trauma.
You didn't do a 180 and just
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
I'm out. You didn't do that.
Well, I have another interesting Filipino story from the
Oh,
same
please.
coverage in Kabul. We get to the hotel, okay? So the dining area where all the foreign journalists are there. Uh, we saw our idol Christian Amanpour, idols from
wow.
BBC and CNN, all the
Yeah.
big guys were there. And there was this one table with a bunch of Filipinos. You know, nobody really knew us. So nobody was serving us.
Oh, why? Just
Priority was
because you guys are
always the white
Filipino?
people.
Oh, fair.
Westerners, the
The
Europeans.
Westerners, yeah.
Nobody was serving food to the Filipinos. So one of my friend said, oh, he decided, okay, I'm gonna complain to the chef.
Oh.
Goes to the kitchen.
Okay.
He goes to the kitchen and tells this big Afghan with full beard. who's in charge of
Sounds
the
like
kitchen.
a chef.
Yeah, and he asked the chef, "Where's our food?" And then the chef barks back, saying, "Where are you from?" Very aggressively and hostile. He was hostile. And then my friend said, "Filipinos."
Okay.
Okay, Filipinos. The chef said, "Yes, Filipinos." And then the chef blurts out, "Putang ina niyo," and starts
Filipino
hugging us.
Oh, that's so cute. Wait, what?
It
What?
turns out, okay. So he said, "Putang ina niyo," starts
Yeah.
hugging us. It turns out, during more peaceful days in Afghanistan, that was the hotel.
Yeah.
That was the Kabul Intercontinental.
Oh,
It
okay.
has seen its more peaceful and glamorous days. Before the war, the band playing at that hotel
Were
were
Filipino.
Filipinos.
He must have
And-
been really close to be able to say
Yes,
that.
and he had so much fun with these Filipinos. But Filipinos, marunong makisama eh.
Yeah, that's
We're
true,
great
that's true.
pakisama. And then those are the words he picked up from the Filipino
Yeah,
bands.
I'm not surprised.
PI.
Classic.
Classic Filipinos, right? They always teach them the bad
Oh
words.
yeah, it's always the bad words first
Yeah.
before anything else.
Yes.
Oh,
so
that's so
you
cute.
learn a lot about us Filipinos when you go abroad.
Oh, for sure.
There. I think that's it. No.
Actually, you know how that translates to modern times in more simpler forms here online. You'll know that you're playing with a bunch of people who have played with Filipinos when they can curse in
Yeah.
Filipino.
Right.
Right, like any game or platform,
I
like
know.
the popular ones. Don't talk about
Why is it that? Why is PI such a?
I don't know.
It's our way to break the ice with other
With
nationalities.
other nationalities, like teach me a Filipino word.
It's always a
automatically
bad
PI.
word.
It's bad word. It's not even mabuhay or anything like that.
Sometimes it's worse than that,
It's-
which I can't say here.
yeah. I don't know. It's just, I guess that's part of our humor as well. I don't know why we find it funny, and at the same time, the older generation finds it rude, but
Yeah.
still funny. Weird.
It's that
That thing.
I like to tell our people at the office, for example, because the old newsroom was full of PI. That's how people know. PI is both a curse or a term of endearment.
It is all of it. No, I agree. I agree.
It's a term of endearment also. Our relationship with words is very strange.
It is.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I know.
I think with curse words, something that I personally live by, if I'm actually angry, I never use it.
Their silence is more deadly.
It is.
The
It
silent
is.
treatment is more deadly.
And the more serious I am, the less I use cuss words, or I don't use cuss words at all. But when I'm happy, the rainbow.
See, there you go. There you go. Now you're getting it, huh?
It's a beautiful. I don't know. They may be cuss words, but they're beautiful to say
beautiful.
when you're feeling something like strong, right?
Do you know what here, for example? I think the word here for mestizo or Spanish, right?
Tisoy.
It's coño.
Wait. Konyo is a way of speaking, is it not?
They call originally they call well, not originally, the original meaning of the word is something else, but people who have Hispanic,
Hispanic.
they're called
background.
coño.
Yeah.
They call themselves coño.
Konyo.
Of course, now it has taken a different meaning, meaning
Yeah.
to say it's like burgess or wealthy.
Yeah. Only
But when
because
you
of the
think
way they
about it,
speak,
coño means
Yeah.
the female
Yeah,
genitalia,
yeah.
right?
It has evolved for
Yeah,
sure.
it has evolved. Oh, it's become a badge of honor for
It has, or shame for some, for
Yes,
some
yes,
reason.
yes.
Yeah, that is the etymology of that is actually very
Yeah.
interesting. But I can see it. I can see it. Ah, thank you so much for sharing your story about that. That is you have so far led an exciting career.
Well, I'm grateful for that. No, I'm grateful for all my experiences. They've been very rich. They haven't resulted in a lot of money for me, but I'm rich with experience.
Yeah, for sure. More than the money, it's experience.
Yeah, I've things that I've seen and been places I've been to have been very
Both terrible and great.
terrible but enriching. Uh, Tell me what it is. I've probably seen it.
Yeah.
Dead bodies, beheaded body or whatever.
Chickens.
Well, that's my baptism as a police reporter, was a chicken, and I did examine the chicken, and then woo,
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah,
Oh my
the
goodness.
evidence.
Poor chicken.
So
That is
there, yeah,
terrible.
it's been very very. I'd like to tell young journalists that while you're young, go out. And
Yeah.
then maybe when you're a bit older, when
You can mellow
yeah,
down
you can mellow
eventually.
down and take a corporate job. That's what you want. But the,
While
the,
you
the
have the time,
adventure that
the
you can
energy.
do as a young journalist it's not something you can
Mm.
it's worth it. It's worth it. It's
Yeah,
worth it.
yeah. It's oh, that is a beautiful message. Actually, that's very inspiring, not just for journalists, but generally
For
young folks.
take risk while you're young.
Yeah.
Take risk, but
Not super, not uncalculated risks, I guess, but
well,
that depends.
true. There's something I always wanna correct the
Mm-hmm.
impression of people that you have to be brave to be a journalist, or that journalists are brave
Mm-hmm.
for putting themselves in the line of danger. I don't believe in that. I don't
Really?
believe that you have to be brave, or that the best journalists are the brave ones. No, I think more than anything, it's what makes a good journalist is not courage. It's curiosity.
So basically, stay curious.
Stay curious, and sometimes that curiosity will lead you to very sticky situations. But you just have to be, you just have to always have that fear. Never lose the fear. So it's not have courage, it's have fear.
Fear.
It's have the fear, because it's your fear that will keep you alive.
Oh, that is
It's your fear that will keep you alive. Your
Your survival
curiosity will
instincts.
bring you to very difficult situations,
Mm-hmm.
maybe dangerous situations, but your fear will
keep you alive.
We'd like to, me and my friends would like saying that it's courage that kill a lot of journalists. Because sometimes
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
foolish
mean to laugh.
people tend to be courageous
Yeah.
when they're already unaware of the danger. Sometimes, I mean, courage sometimes makes you unaware of the danger
Yeah.
in a
yeah.
situation,
So you
because
go
you're
in.
just being foolish already.
Yeah.
So no, it's always important to have that fear,
Yeah.
and you will live, and then you'll realize, no, it's not courage that's most important. It's the curiosity to see something, so that you
Go
can tell
after
the
it.
story.
Yeah. So that you can tell the story. So,
the-
you can
because-
actually go back and
And
tell, the story.
right?
Yeah, 'cause
You have to
what's-
live first, so you can tell the story. Otherwise, what's
'Cause
the
what's
point?
the point?
You're just a stuntman,
Oh,
Right?
that is beautiful. That is beautiful.
right?
Yeah, that's something akin to, for me, getting older. It's like, what's the point of enjoying life if you don't get much life
Out of it.
out of it?
Right, right.
So you have to live a long life so that you can actually enjoy more out of it.
Right.
So it's something like that. So
Yeah.
that is a beautiful message. Sorry. So for those out there trying to get a story, make sure you actually get that story, but make sure you come back.
Yeah.
to tell everyone
Never
about
lose
it.
that fear. Never lose
Never
that fear.
lose the fear.
I've been with some of the most I wouldn't call them bravest journalists. No, it's journalists who have been through many things, many tough situations, through war. Been with them, and it's amazing when you see them and they're all cowering in fear. Well, they're covering difficult situations. They have all of fear in their eyes, and I think it's how it should be. It's
And
how
I'm
it
sure
should
that
be.
drives
Because you're
something in
not
them.
there to tempt fate.
Yeah.
You're not there to test
Limits or
your
whatever.
limits or your test your wills. You're there to get a story and make
And
sure you bring
return.
it back. Right?
Right on time for the news.
Right on time for prime time news.
For primetime
Yeah.
news. Oh, thank you so much, Patrick, for sharing all of this. This has been a wonderful conversation. And I actually look forward to hearing more from you.
Yeah.
So
You too.
hopefully, we'll have you back here. We'll share more stories, and hopefully, you guys listening had a great time listening in on our conversation.
Thank you.
And if you guys did, make sure you send Patrick some love by
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe the comments or something, and
Yes.
let us know if you want to see or hear more from
And
Patrick.
if you have time, maybe they can watch One News.
Oh, absolutely.
We have a show there. We call it StoryCon. If
StoryCon.
you just want to geek on the news, okay, might not be
You
for
can
every, might be a bit depressing to
Hey,
learn the
it's
bad
some
news.
people's cup of tea.
But if you want to geek on news, then StoryCon.
I love that.
On One
Geeking
News.
on news.
uh,
So StoryCon on One News.
Yes.
And you can catch Patrick there as well.
Yes.
And make sure you catch the next podcast here. And we'll see you next time or hear from you next time. Bye, guys. You can also say.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.